How are you today? I hope you're doing fine because I'm feeling great today. My name is Johanna Orashon, your TCD Kasikas reporter. The importance on the adoption of distance learning delivery modality, especially in response to the disruption of classes due to this pandemic, have enabled the conceptualization of this TCD Kasikas. To provide details, we have Dr. Edmark Ayan El Cabio, our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent and overall head of the TCD Kasikas.
The Department of Education has worked on various innovations and educational reforms to ascertain that the trust and goals of the department are met. Despite the adverse effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, especially on the delivery of instruction to learners, the current situations gave way to the launching of the use of the blended learning delivery modalities as stipulated in Deputy Order No. 12, Series 2020. Adaptation of the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan for school year 2020-2021 in light of the COVID-19 public health emergency, and thus the creation of the Distance Learning Delivery Modalities framework in which the TV-based instruction or the TBI and radio-based instruction are considered to be important strategies suggested at ensuring all learners are reached despite their distance and access to internet connectivity, satellite television services, and power and bandwidth efficiency of radio sheets. In adherence to this call, Tanai City Division, through its program management team and the TCD Kasikas production team, endeavors to establish this undertaking by contextualizing its effort in support of the said cause, in reaching all learners right in its own context and in making learning accessible to all. In addition, TCD Kasikas also provides the public the highlights of all Tanai City Division's educational undertakings from all levels of governance. The technical working group, which exhibits specific expertise, collaboratively deal with the necessary preparations for the segments of each episode, released every 2 months. This group of individuals composed the different committees. TCD Kasikas production team, headed by Dr. Grace Katakutan, TCD Creatives, led by Sir Christopher Swan, TCD Harmonia, orchestrated by the MAPI supervisor, Dr. Susie Ramirez, TCD Kasikas script writers, and of course TCD Kasikas broadcasters, chaired by Dr. Alex Parane. Here in DepEd Tanai City Division believes that providing education to our young minds should continue. Education is an essentially indispensable component for the holistic development of individual, which is imperative for nation building and societal transformation necessary in highly technological-laden society of today. With that being said, the Kasikas at TCD magpadayon para mas malambo ang atong pagpanerbisyo sa atong mga katawhan, ilabi na sa atong mga estudyante. Kaya dinhi sa TCD, we teach, we care, we deliver.
Dr. Grace Katakutan, our SEPS HRD, the production head of TCD Kasikas, and Mr. Exuper Suan, our ITO3.
Being tasked to head the production team of the TCD Kasikas, I give my full support to this undertaking, especially in ensuring that all learners continue to have access to learning through distance learning delivery modalities, and in providing the public with updates and highlights of all the educational endeavors of the Schools Division Office of Tanai City. Being grateful too to have been blessed with talented people of positive attitude and heart for service excellence who collaboratively work to make things happen here in TCD Kasikas.
First up on this episode is the TCD Scope. We will show you how DepEd Tanai came to be. Stay tuned as we walk down memory lane.
On April 1, 2001, Tanai City was proclaimed as a component city by virtue of Republic Act 9026, and on December 16, 2001, the division of Tanai City was established under DepEd Order No. 20 Series of 2002. The division of Tanai City is composed of the municipality of Pamplona and Tanai City. Tanai City has 48 public elementary schools, 18 public secondary schools, 7 private schools, and 2 private colleges, or a total of 75 educational institutions. On the other hand, the municipality of Pamplona has 23 public elementary schools, 7 public secondary schools, 1 private school offering kindergarten, and 1 public university. A total of 32 educational institutions. In its entirety, Tanai City Division has 107 public and private schools. Tanai City Division has a total of 620 kindergarten to grade 6 teachers, 367 junior high school teachers, 70 senior high school teachers, 10 mobile teachers, 3 DALS teachers, 68 division office personnel, or a total of 1,138 DepEd employees and growing. At present, Tanai City and the municipality of Pamplona are very active in supporting our college scholarship program. Currently, Tanai City is sending to school a total of 283 scholars, 60 of whom are expected to graduate at the end of the current school year. Also included in one of the city's programs is providing skills training through TESDA to develop their skills and competencies to meet job requirements and thereby gain access to employment. Tanai City Division has been thrivingly keeping up to the ideals of attaining the vision, mission, and goals of the Department of Education as it effectively functions as a city schools division.
President Rodrigo Roa Duterte has approved limited face-to-face classes in areas deemed low risk for COVID-19. Malacanang announced on Monday, September 20, 2021. How prepared is the city for the possible face-to-face classes? What are the school preparations done for the face-to-face classes? Are the teachers ready for the face-to-face classes in this time of pandemic? These are just some of the questions that everyone is asking. Let us have a closer look on Plaza Central School as we interview the principal, Mrs. Yolanda F. Garrido. And please, stay tuned for CID updates on Mojo distribution.
President Rodrigo Duterte has approved the recommendation of the Department of Education to allow the conduct of the pilot face-to-face classes for 2 months with a maximum of 120 schools. That would be 100 per public schools and in 20 per private schools in the area with a low risk of COVID-19. Malacanang announced last Tuesday, September 21, with the official communication titled Memorandum from the Executive Secretary, Salvador Medialdea. This covers the maximum of 100 public schools in areas categorized as minimal risk and that have passed the readiness assessment, and an additional of 20 private schools jointly validated by the Department of Education and the Department of Health. The Department of Education has yet to release the list of schools that would participate in the pilot run. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque has made the announcement in the press briefing on Monday, September 20. He said that the face-to-face classes would be held for only half a day every other week. Ito po ay hindi lang issue ng edukasyon. Ito rin po ay issue ng mental health at ekonomiya, he said. The face-to-face classes will be held in 120 schools for the following grade levels: 12 for kindergarten, 16 for grades 1 to 3, and 20 students for technical vocational senior high school students. Education Secretary Leonor Briones said that DepEd has yet to determine the start of the pilot run, but the agency will implement it immediately after receiving instructions from the President. The pilot run of limited face-to-face classes is a shared responsibility of the DepEd, Department of Health, with the approval of IETF, the local government units themselves, and the parents. This will be monitored for 2 months, Briones said. DepEd said that participating schools must have a written support and consent from parents of students who shall participate in the pilot. The DepEd also added that no student shall be forced to attend the pilot implementation of face-to-face classes. In Tanai City, Plaza Central School is one of the pilot schools for limited face-to-face classes if ever Tanai City Division will be included for the implementation. Right now, let's have a quick interview of the principal of the said school. So during the enrollment, ma'am, how many percent of the parents have agreed with the limited face-to-face classes?
Based on the enrollment survey, sir, it showed that 33.56% of the parents agreed to send their children in case there would be face-to-face classes. So I guess that data shows that still majority of our parents are hesitant to have their children report for face-to-face classes.
All right. So the next question, ma'am, is that is the financial support given to your schools to be able to prepare for the necessary materials enough, considering all proper health protocols?
Okay, the financial support we recently received, that was a supplemental budget for COVID response. I guess it's enough for the purpose it was intended, because there was a list of items that are allowed to be purchased under that budget. So I guess it's enough for alcohol, face masks, and all those things for protection of our children as COVID response. But still, there are other needs that are not covered within that budget. So I guess that would be, we will be taking that amount from our MOE, which would still not be enough considering that we are still implementing the modular distance learning. So one strategy we could adopt would be to tap our stakeholders to help in the preparation for the face-to-face classes.
All right. So right now, ma'am, are your teachers ready for this limited face-to-face classes?
Teachers are always ready, and in fact, they would welcome a face-to-face setting because they already miss their children, and I guess they feel that they'd be more effective in a face-to-face setting.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Is financial support, ma'am, to all the schools adequate for the preparation for limited face-to-face classes following the proper health protocols?
Hi, Jose. A pleasant and safe morning to you. I believe so that there is an adequate budget for our limited face-to-face because just very recently, our Department of Education, by way of our central office, has cascaded to the division a supplemental budget which should be exclusively used for the support and assistance of our schools in preparation of the limited face-to-face. And based on the instruction given by our accounting office, our school heads really have to adhere to the given expenditures as to how they are going to prepare their classrooms as far as the physical facilities are concerned so that their classrooms will be prepared for the limited face-to-face. So I say there is an adequate budget.
Okay, ma'am. All right. So the next one, ma'am, is are the teachers ready for the face-to-face classes?
The division office of Tanai City ensured that the teachers as well as our schools will be ready for the limited face-to-face. In fact, just very recently, our school's division superintendent has initiated an orientation attended by all our school administrators, both elementary and high school, to prepare them and come up with an implementation plan or an action plan to implement the limited face-to-face. By this, enclosed in the plan is the pre-implementation, during implementation, and post-implementation of our limited face-to-face so that our school heads, together with the teachers, will plan out the different activities that they need to do prior to the implementation of limited face-to-face. I'm sure doing that, they will be ready.
So with that being said, as one of the teachers in Tanai City Division, I believe that I am also prepared for the face-to-face classes. Now, the third question, ma'am, is what are the arrangement for the classes?
Okay. I have mentioned about the action plan on the implementation of limited face-to-face. And as I have also mentioned that there is enclosed in that action plan 3 phases: the pre-implementation, the implementation, and the post-implementation. And in the pre-implementation phase, there is an inclusion there of our schools to see to it that the physical facilities and structure of classrooms will be ready, considering that we have to adhere and we have to be very conscious and follow to the letter how to prepare our classrooms in such a way that our pupils and learners will be protected. And so one of the provisions there in our action plan is putting up the physical barrier in our classrooms, in the desks and tables and chairs of our learners so that they will be protected when the time will come that they will be allowed to come to school in a limited face-to-face. As to the arrangement of limited face-to-face, in a week schedule, there is only 1 or twice in a week that our learners and students will come to school for the limited face-to-face, and the rest of the days we will still be adopting our blended learning in a way using our modular approach or the modules wherein our students and learners are used to doing that. But we appreciate and we look forward to having our limited face-to-face more so with our key stage 1, our kinder to grade 3, because our teachers there handling kinder to grade 3 really are very adamant that our pupils will come to school so that they will really be taught how to prepare themselves in the preparatory steps for the reading. And I think that is very important. So we appreciate it if it will really be implemented, the limited face-to-face instruction or classes.
Hello everyone, we're live here at Pamplona Central Elementary School, and with me today, ladies and gentlemen, is our district ALS coordinator for Pamplona Districts 1, 2, and 3. Let's welcome Mrs. Lolita R. Manangkil. Hello, good morning, Ma'am Lolette.
Good morning, Sir Paul.
So how are you doing?
Well, I'm great today. I'm great.
Wow, that's great. So I have 2 questions for you today.
Okay.
All right, so first question is, how would you assure to the public that you are providing quality education to your learners who are out of school youths and adults?
Well, in this time of pandemic, usually in ALS, we are providing quality education, same thing as the formal school. Because what they are doing in the formal school, we are also doing it in our ALS way. We are giving modules for our learners for them to study at home, activity sheets for them to answer, and we are also checking their progress by checking their answer sheets and by monitoring them through our group chats, and also giving them encouragement to do better, because we as implementers let our learners pursue their goals and lives. And the community also is aware of alternative learning system, because alternative learning system is community based. We are doing our all session in the community, usually in the chapel, in under the shade of the trees, in the barangay halls. But we have stations in school, in the formal school, so where we are assigned. And aside from that, we have also produced ALS learners who by this time are successful already. Well, presently we have an ALS completer who is now a teacher here in Pamplona. She is teaching, and also an ALS completer who is now a coast guard here in Pamplona. So the community is aware about what alternative learning is doing during this time of pandemic. That will be all. Thank you.
All right, so how would you motivate all your students to continue working hard for their education, and the parents to support their children despite of the many challenges in this time of pandemic?
Okay, I would like to relate that question to the quote, walk the talk. Because in us, we are working not for money, but we are working for the quality of education that we can deliver to our ALS learners. We're giving them time to continue to pursue their studies, and we are giving them encouragement so that they would be able to continue their studies despite of the pandemic nowadays. Because in ALS, we change the lives of our learners from an out-of-school youth and adults to be a successful entrepreneur someday. We are teaching in ALS with a heart, not with prejudice. And being an ALS implementer should have the ability to be more understanding, because we are dealing learners with different ages, with different characters, with different levels of understanding. So patience is a virtue, and we need to understand them. And we also need to encourage them to pursue further. Because in ALS, pag mag-enroll ka, may pag-asa ka pa. And that will be all. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Ma'am Let's, for sharing your thoughts, ideas, and everything about alternative learning system here in Pamplona District. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen, here at Pamplona Central Elementary School Alternative Learning System.
Updates for learning resource management. Prior to the printing of modules for this year, our education program supervisors enhances the modules utilizing the results of the feedback tool from the field. The division office received BELCP fans for printing, and the division office printed grades 4 to grade 10 SNMs, while the school printed kindergarten to grade 3, PLE grades 9 and 10, and senior high school. Also purchased bond papers and inks, which equitably distributed to schools.
Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan. The threats of COVID-19 pandemic have affected the systems and operations in the education sector. In the words of Secretary Leonor Montoles Briones, education must continue and that learners' right to education remain protected and non-negotiable. Thus, we have the BELCP, or also known as the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan. To share us more on this, we have Mrs. Maria Teresa V. Avanzado, our Schools Division Superintendent, and Dr. Milagros G. Suyo, the SGOD Chief.
Good day, everyone. This is Superintendent Maria Teresa Avanzado of the Schools Division Office of Tanai City, and I will be talking to you about the Basic Education School Learning Continuity Plan. On January 30, 2020, the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 as a public health emergency concern internationally. And in the Philippines, our first COVID case was reported in February 2020. Since then, cases escalated to such a level that it became a pandemic. So we all know that until today, the COVID pandemic is still with us. So, because of this, we have to suspend classes last year in the middle part of March 2020 because of the rising cases of COVID in our locality. Due to this COVID pandemic, systems and operations in schools and division offices had been adversely affected. In fact, we have to postpone the opening of classes to October last year because of the rising surge of the cases. But in the words of Secretary Leonor Magtoles Briones, she said that education must continue. So we cannot afford to stagnate the minds of our children and have them stop schooling. So we have really to think that the educational needs of our learners is first and foremost being the education department. So we are now in the new normal. So schools and even the division offices and the regional offices were tasked to prepare the learning continuity plan, specifically for this time of the pandemic. So in Tanai City Division, we also prepared our learning continuity plan consistent with the central office, the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan. The Basic Learning Continuity Plan of SDO Tanai is anchored and guided by the principles embodied under the Department Sulong Edukalidad. And first and foremost of the principles here is protect the health and safety and well-being of learners, teachers, personnel, and prevent further transmission of COVID-19. That is why in our SLCP, we put it a premium that this will be given enough share of the school's MOOE as regards to protecting and ensuring the health, safety, and well-being of our learners. So that is why we looked into the physical facilities of our schools to make sure that the facilities are maintained and enhanced, especially the facilities for cleanliness, sanitation, and hygiene. And this year also, because of the plan to implement limited face-to-face, we also have prepared our rooms for such event if it will be approved by the President. So Number two is we also anchored this that to ensure continuity of learning, we have aligned our learning materials, our modules, we contextualize them to better suit the present situation of our learners. We have, of course, our modality is the use of distance learning through modules. And of course, our third objective and principle is to facilitate the safe return of our teaching and non-teaching personnel and learners to schools and workplaces. So also in our division office, we implement the civil service policy on alternative work arrangement because that is one way also of ensuring the health, safety, and well-being of our personnel. So if we take a look at the school learning continuity plan, we really focus now on the physical facilities and also on the health requirements. So we have this school learning continuity plan to really address the needs of this time of pandemic. So basically the MOOE fund, the maintenance and other operation expenses fund are really maximized so that it will really address the priority needs of the school in this time of COVID-19, wherein we really have to be serious about protecting the health and the safety of our learners as well as our personnel in school. So in general, this learning continuity plan provides also a roadmap to what should be done. And this year also, because of the plan to implement the limited face-to-face, schools also are asked to prepare an action plan for the implementation of the limited face-to-face. Hopefully, we can have that perhaps early next year because based on the talks with parents, many parents really see the need for face-to-face classes because they are finding it difficult also to be teachers of their children, especially when they are very busy with livelihood concerns. So my friends, that is just a short snapshot of the BELCP that is being prepared to really address the so-called new normal form of education. So thank you very much and may God bless us all.
Learning must continue. That is the belief of the Department of Education. In the 1.5 year of battling this pandemic, the Department of Education ensures that learning will not stop and learning will continue. Thus, we have our basic education division learning continuity plan, and all the provisions in our BEDLCP are all cascaded to our basic education school learning continuity plan, in which our school heads are also mandated to prepare and come up with their own BESLCP. Our central office also has cascaded budget to our schools so that they will be able to implement to the fullest their BESLCP. And with that, we say that with our division office personnel validating the contents of our BESLCP, I am sure that the implementation of the school learning continuity plan in our schools, with our monitoring in the implementation, will be successful. We just hope that the pandemic will end so that we can go back to normal, starting with our limited face-to-face classes. Once it will be approved, our school learning continuity plan will be cascaded to the schools with the action plan of implementation of our limited face-to-face.
I am excited to share to you mga kasikas the SafeCA program. SafeCA program is an initiative of our very proactive Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Edmark Ayan L. Cabio.
Tanai City Division is ready to launch and implement the SafeCA program with its tagline, Sa DepEd Tanai, SafeCA this school year. This program is an initiative of Tanai City Division's Assistant Schools Division Superintendent and the proponent himself, Dr. Edmark Ayan Cabio, and the focal person, Ms. Michelle Ozoa. Anchored on DepEd Order 32 Series of 2007, the Gender Responsive Basic Education Policy, in line with the Gender and Development or GAD. SafeCA aims to safeguard and foster SDO Tanai clienteles through holistic and sustainable implementation of its 5 key components with its core values, luwas, by optimizing partnership with stakeholders. Here's more from Tanai City Division's newest SafeCA program proponent, Dr. Edmark Ayan Cabio, and the focal person, Mrs. Michelle Ozoa.
SafeCA is the division initiative program which aims to integrate the principles of gender equality, gender equity, and non-discrimination, and of course respect to human rights in the provision and governance of basic education. We want everyone in DepEd Tanai, the school heads, the teachers, the learners really feel that they are safe in all corners in the schools. So SafeCA means that they are respected, they are valued, they are heard. So this program hopes that as they are in DepEd Tanai, as they stay in DepEd Tanai, they are happy and safe. So however, we can't achieve our SafeCA's programs, projects, and objectives without the help of the SafeCA implementers. These implementers are the school heads and the teachers, including our identified partners. It could be the parents or the LGU. So we need to work hand in hand. We need to work together to achieve the goals and objectives of SafeCA. So at this point of time, I'd like to inform our community in DepEd Tanai to please really work with us, and let's make DepEd Tanai a safe community for everyone. I have been an advocate of protecting the rights of every learner in the classroom. They are our future leaders, the next generation of leaders. Hence, we are preparing them to have a future of violence-free or abuse-free society. We believe that when learners stay in an environment when there is no presence of violence or abuse, they will create a future without it. Now, to attain this, we need first to advocate SafeCA to our people, our external and internal stakeholders. There will be a service of trainings and workshops to our SafeCA implementers or coordinators so that they will be equipped with the necessary skills and tools to implement the program successfully. Para ni sa atong mga kabataan, para ni sa atong mga kauban din sa Division of Tanai. So, dapat magtabanganay ta, Kaya we believe din sa Tanai City Division, everyone is safe. Thank you.
Kaya tao ni, nag-aspire siya. Nakita niya akong question? Nag-gets niya? So, Safeka aspires. Kinsa ni Safeka? To build and sustain. So, we are the Safeka implementers.
So, pwede na ito rin siya ilisan, sir.
At hindi, mo tanak ko ninyo, di ba? Nag-gets ninyo? Kami mo itang Safeka. Kinsa ni? So, Safeka program. Division of the
Sir.
Dili siya pwedeng alalahin every program na ay
Oo, muna siya akong concern. Muna yung akong consideration nga. Later on, maumangtaan ni kayo, this is just one. Makita na ito nga. Very easier mag to monitor.
Here with Sir Darrell on how to, in a way, make the monitoring checklist in a form of a checklist where it would be easier. And Ma'am Tata made mention of those things, diba? And I was just wondering why a while ago, Ma'am Ta, you were saying that you will be asking each one to present the ANA and then we will be capturing,
after we educated our community, or for example kani ato ang mga students, when ma-educate na sila, that's the time mo encourage sila na mo air out, mo say something. So there will be in the first implementation usa pa na makakita ta og good ka ng genuine report nga gikan pod nila kay it's true nga karon no report gyud kay ano man mo basta kabalo o di pod sila comfortable moadto nimo when it comes to abuses. So these are things nga never guni siya mabutang sa school, when in fact no, we had every year GWA conducted kaning barangay to barangay evaluation on abuses regarding sa God. Wala dyan siya na-report until such time na community na
dayon, ano yung mention ko, sir? Na, tanan na tong activity, sir, iusa na tanan kay pag-monitor, di na siya mabala o sir ba? Check na lang po.
so asa ang area, example, ang program na
Dili sa first call ng program, sir.
yeah, tanan sa
Dayon, ining kuha na next week, kuha na.
Wala siya rubric. Sir.
Depende siya sa objective. Kaya kung mag-istorya ta kwarta, this financial management, na siya, kung money mo naabot, money siya. Kung mong 4, money siya inana. Kung aray mo kadiri, umingan nga, kani siya nga kuan program na sa SIP, lahi po siya rubric.
Pero wala pa tani, ma'am, wala pa. So,
Patrick's in terms of monitoring and evaluation. So they have 4 levels. So ang first level is reaction. Did the learners enjoy kani sa training man gud ni siya? And then learning, did the learning transfer occur? Nabay na yung tabo. Impact na abay, did the training change behavior? So ato na siyang ilisan, nabay na-enjoy ba nila? Kay it's really, in gender and development, it's more on values. Kay kung ano gani siya, it comes from the heart. Dili gani siya may tabo, wala gani siya sa imong dugan na programs and projects. And the only way na ma-value ni siya is for
We are now here in our Division Safeka Center, which is at the same time the VOW desk, the Cody office, and the lactating room. And we also have this morning the focal person of the Safeka program of Tanai City Division, Mrs. Michelle Ozoa.
Hello, Ka.
Good morning,
Good morning,
Mitch.
and welcome to our Safeka Center.
Okay, now, so, Ma'am Mitch, as the focal person of this Safeka program, what personal attributes can you share to our viewers in order to make this program a success?
All right, so we have actually 5 attributes that can best support, no, if you are going to be an advocate. These are the 5 attributes. 1, you have to raise your voice. Meaning, whether you're talking to your friends, your family, or your co-teachers and your learners, it is important to be an advocate and speaking up. Let your voice be heard. Second, you educate the next generation. You empower the youth. That is our legacy. A safe and motivating environment, not just in our schools, but in our homes, as well as the communities of our learners. Right? And number 3, you get involved and let your presence be felt, Kat. That's very important. And then, number 4, is that number 4?
Yes.
All right. You may not know it, but others are just waiting for you to reach out. So, share the workload. Ask your teachers, ask your fellow friends to join the advocacy that you may have. And then finally, support one another. That's very important. If you advocate, you support one another. And that's it, Kat. Those are the 5 attributes that is really important if you're going to be an advocate, especially in gender and development. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Mitch. That's all for the Safeco program. I'll be back for more news updates. Thank you for streaming with us. I'm Maria Katrina Pascal Legaspi. Have a great day.
Now that COVID-19 vaccines have come to billions of individuals around the world, the proof is overpowering that no matter which one you take, the vaccines offer a life-saving protection against COVID-19. The best bet of remaining secure is by vaccination. However, there are still some people who are skeptical about the COVID-19 vaccines. The government and private sectors are working hand in hand to deliver vaccines as quickly as possible. Tanai City Division has shown interest in COVID-19 vaccination program. Our field reporter will interview our Tanai City Division Medical Officer, Dr. Mark Joseph Vilio.
To our school's Division Superintendent, Maria Teresa V. Avanzado, to Sir Ian Mark Cabio, our ESDS, distinguished guests, teachers, and personnel, students, maayong buntag kaninyong tanan. Or maayong adlaw kaninyong tanan. We can no longer use our fingers to count the months that have passed since this pandemic had started. Since then, our classrooms remain silent. It longs for the echoes of our students, feeling down the hall, actively participating in classes, and the enthusiasm of our students yearning for new learning. Gone are the days when the students pleasantly greet us in the halls. And these are all but memories we gladly recall. The threat to our health and well-being remains as the COVID-19 virus continues to spread in our society. Just imagine dominoes neatly organized in a line. The distances are equal, and a single whisk of wind would result in a series of disarray. Everything seems to be in place, not unless an external force causes one to fall. We are like those dominoes standing living our lives, safe and stable. A single blow from a sneeze or cough is enough to tip a vulnerable domino down. The fall of one results in a chain of dominoes tipping and bringing each other down. Humans continue to interact with each other and their environment. If we lower our defenses, exposing our vulnerabilities, an opportunity will present an infectious agents to invade. We place ourselves at risk for harboring infectious agents and becoming carriers of them. This is our fall in the line of domino. Lack of defense and invasion of microbes will be our downfall. So we stand firmly by raising our guards and defense is the only way to end the chain. It is repeatedly mentioned that hand hygiene is one of the most effective ways of reducing the transmission of virus. Hand hygiene with clean water and soap or alcohol is efficient in significantly reducing microbial count in our hands. However, Such a simple practice is often missed when we become complacent most of the time. Once again, I am reminding everybody to wash your hands regularly to raise more walls against COVID-19. Wearing face masks and face shields will add physical barriers to the virus. And to complete our defenses, we should have our vaccination. Free vaccination is being offered, and I am encouraging all of you to register and be protected. As of the moment, we have 506 personnel already who are fully vaccinated, and 183 of those have their first doses. We are already about 52% of our TCD population, and hopefully we will attain the herd immunity in the near future. If we continue with this, we might be moving closer to reopening our gates for our children, and the memories that we can only recall is being lived once more. We are all aiming for a way out of this pandemic and a better future. So let us all work hand in hand ug padayong masulong para sa mauswagong kaugmaon. Daghang salamat.
Here is more from our mayors, Honorable Janice V. Digamo.
So, Mayor, how prepared is Pamplona for the possible face-to-face classes?
You were asking me how prepared we are as a town of the upcoming plan of DepEd for a face-to-face interaction in the classroom. Actually, I would like to believe that we are prepared already, in the sense that if you are going to look at data, you will find out that we do not have a very big number of kanang record of those that have been infected with COVID-19, no? We can maybe say na tolerable lang, no? Tolerable ang naa nato. But prepared, yes, maybe we are, but it is still something I believe to be risky. Risky because I have been in the field. I have asked our people if they have been inoculated with the vaccine, and there were some but not all, no, or most of them have not been inoculated, not because there's a shortage of vaccines. Sa akong lantaw, that is not really the reason. Most of the time they would just smile and would say, Mayor, we are still waiting for more time to make that decision. So, like you, I'm a teacher too. So, I really believe that the face-to-face interaction is really something that we should have in the classroom. Lahi ra gyud, no, kung wala na, lahi ra gyud. But considering also na most of our people have not been inoculated pa, I think we have to wait until such time that the number of kana bitang herd immunity ma-achieve gyud nato as a community. So ako, kung mayon kang how prepared we are, considering nga wala kaayoy na infected diri sa ato, but there's this risk that we have also to look into and consider.
So, Mayor, we cannot go away with face-to-face classes by not considering the vaccination, just what you said a while ago. So, my question now is that, based on your own assessment and with the data that the RHU Pamplona has showed regarding with this vaccination, so what can you say about this vaccination process that our Pamplonanhons have been receiving since day one?
I am very proud with what our RHU has been doing with regard to bringing the vaccines to the doorstep gyud of our people in the barangay. And I would like to commend them, no, for that the work that they have done for our people. However, I think we have to again go back to the reality that more education has to be poured into our people so that they will come out willingly and be inoculated. In the programs that I have been having, no, at the LGU, we included that part. We tell them the possibilities of getting a severe kind of COVID once you do not subject yourself to inoculation or kaning bakuna. However, I think there's still a lot that we need to do for them to really understand that this is really something that they need to take seriously. In most of those that I have visited, their reasons are kaning zombie thing, that you will turn into a zombie after several years if you get yourself inoculated. It is all over Facebook, and the bad side, I think, of the social media, if it is being utilized for wrong purposes, ingon ana. However, there are also others na they are considering, especially if they heard about people who needs to pay so much for getting sick of the COVID. But I believe, and in my own personal assessment, government still has to do something, especially on that part where we have to educate our people. Kay if they are educated enough to understand the bad thing about not being inoculated, I think they will open to their eyes to the reality that they will need it karon or later on, but the soonest possible time is something that they need to consider for them to get inoculated. Pareho anang storya nga 3 years ramang kuno mayor kung magpa-inject me. Ning ko ang peligro og di ta magpa-inject basig di ta kaabtag tuig. Something like that. So I would like to make an emphasis on the part where we educate our people. I think kamo from DepEd can give your fair share of that work, in making campaigns and drive, educating them na this is not something harmful to them.
The Department of Education Tanai City Division has a total of 1,319 teaching and non-teaching personnel. As of September 28, 2021, 49% or 647 DepEd personnel were already fully vaccinated. Some of the teachers are still waiting for the availability of the vaccine, while some opt not to be vaccinated. This is Vanessa Rimbaga reporting.
Yes, indeed. Health is wealth, especially these trying times. Let us do our part in helping our frontliners in battling COVID-19 by doing our share. On a lighter note, the Department of Education participated in the worldwide celebration of Teachers' Day last October 5, 2021. Teachers' Day is a celebration dedicated to all the teachers around the world for their great efforts and contribution in helping to develop a nation for a brighter future. The Department of Education held various activities to pay tribute to teachers who remain passionate and committed in delivering quality education in this time of pandemic. Let's listen to Mr. Paulo Don Rodriguez, our field reporter, for the details.
Hello everyone, we are here at Pamplona Central Elementary School, and with me today is the beautiful District Ops Coordinator for Pamplona District 1, 2, and 3. Let's welcome Mrs. Lolita R. Manangkil. Alright, good day to you, Ma'am Lolette, and how are you?
Good day, Sir Paul, and I'm good.
Well, before anything else, I would like to greet you Happy Teachers Day.
Happy Teachers Day as well. And to all the teachers, Happy Teachers Day.
Exactly. All right, so I have a question for you. So how did you celebrate Teachers Day?
Oh, in ALS, we celebrate our Teachers Day in an ALS way. Usually, my learners were able to greet me Happy Teachers Day in the Messenger and in our group chats and in the Facebook and in our group in Alternative Learning System here in Tanai City Division. We also gather together to have a short chit chat and to enjoy ourselves, and we eat with our group, sharing our difficulties while we were giving our modules during this time of pandemic, and we really enjoyed a lot together with my ALSA co-facilitators and with our very powerful EPSA, Dr. Florenda Sigalvez. We really enjoyed very much during this Teachers Day celebration. And that will be all. Thank you. Happy Teachers Day, everyone.
All right, thank you very much, Ma'am Lolets, for sharing your experiences during the Teachers Day celebration here at Pamplona Central Elementary School. So, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's it all for today here at Pamplona Central Elementary School.
So Teachers Day, it's a celebration of selfless, hardworking, and resilient individuals. So what do we miss? Diba? Murag, it's really different unsa jud karon. So it's really a changing of culture. When we reminisce the past, makayunta nga, Teachers Day na, yes, program. After program, we have those flowers, dagkan kaayo gatapunog. So we are really nga, wala, maglisod kag dala. Sometimes, sabitan pa ka o mga candies diri, gipanghimo, or anything that the children could give to you just to show their appreciation to their teachers. So kato siya ato atong gimist. But then, of course, we continue with this changing of times because of pandemic. There's a lot of things nga ato ang gina-usog. So first off, this last October 5, 2021, we had celebrated the Teachers Day. We had a virtual recognition from the division's office. We also celebrated here in school, of course, headed by our principal, Mrs. Yolanda F. Garrido, our cluster head, Ma'am Annabel G. Cornelio, and our SPG coordinator, Ma'am Dor Ante Tulabing, and are very, very active. Mayon dyan kong active kay if you only see kung giunsa nila pagpaangay ang amo ang Teachers Day, makatouch po kay the parents are very participative. So Ma'am Christy Ann Maltez, thank you so much, and all the GPTA officers. So, mao to siya. Teachers Day are one of the most special day for teachers, and we are very much thankful and kay we were given appreciation. So, that's all, and have a good day.
So ma'am, what is your teaching philosophy?
My teaching philosophy involves being passionate and dedicated towards my work. I consider that passion and dedication are two of the most essential virtues a teacher could embody in his or her profession. I also believe that instilling the hearts and minds of the students should be a teacher's driving force.
Has your philosophy, ma'am, changed because of the pandemic?
Definitely not. In fact, the events brought upon the pandemic have only boosted my passion and dedication to get things done. I was able to efficiently balance the tasks given to me from both school and division levels. The pandemic has challenged my resilience, and I was able to learn more out of this unexpected experience.
So ma'am, what is your message to the younger generation of teachers?
My message to the younger generation of teachers is to love your work. Loving your work means focusing not on the stress of doing the work, but instead the positive side of things. Be optimistic and confident in yourself. Do not allow the energy of negativity affect you. If someone pulls you down, stand up and continue to be a good teacher. Remember, the people who pulled you down only inspire you to do better. Just enjoy and love your work. If you love your work, you would give everything into achieving your tasks and goals. And by giving and sharing everything you've got is the very essence of passion.
A teacher is never an ordinary person. Construction and destruction can be produced in his lab. A great quotation from Chanakya, a famous Indian teacher, philosopher, economist, jurist, and royal advisor. This goes to show the power of teachers' influence on a person's life. A teacher greatly affects in shaping a person's life. Don't you agree? In line with this, we will also highlight inspiring teachers of Tanai City Division who went above and beyond in the name of education. A teacher is never an ordinary person. Construction and destruction can be produced in his lap. A great quotation from Chanakya, a famous Indian teacher, philosopher, economist, jurist, and royal advisor. This goes to show the power of teachers' influence on a person's life. A teacher greatly affects in shaping a person's life. Don't you agree? In line with this, we will also highlight inspiring teachers of Tanai City Division who went above and beyond in the name of education.
Matod pa, you don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step. Tingali kining sugilanon sa akong kinabuhi, dili bag-o sa pananaw sa uban. Tingali ordinaryo lang kini, apan manghinaot ako nga sa akong pagsaysay niini, aduna kamoy mapupo nga pagtulunan. Panagat ang among panginabuhian isip nagdako kami sa baybay. Apan adunay mga panahon nga walay kuha.
Te, pausta ko kwarta ipalita mo gasolina.
Maong pagpangutang sa tiyanggi, pagpamaligya og manok, o pagpamaylo ni mama kang bisan kinsa aron lamang makakaon og makaeskwela mi. Usa ka higayon nabungkag ang among balay tungod sa kusog nga bagyo. Niadtong higayuna nakaingon ko. Husto na, dili na ko ganahan nga makakita nila mama ug papa nga mabalaka sa among kahimtang. Maningkamot ko, tabangi ko Ginoo. Tungod adtong hitabua, nanimpalad si mama sa Manila aron padayon kami niyang masuportahan. Sa Tanai National High School nako nahibalag ang usa ka teacher nga naghatag kanako og inspirasyon. Sincero sa pagtudlo, buutan, ug matinabangon kanamo na iyang mga estudyante.
Sino ang magbibigay ng halimbawa ng samang kilos ay dito? Dong,
Sir?
nakita nako nimo ang potensyal sa usa ka maestro. So paningkamot jud maayo dong.
Maningkamot yun ko sir para kung paabuton matuman ang akong pangandoy nga mahimong maayo o respetado nga maestro masama nimo sir.
To cut the story short, I had the best years in life after that. Of course, dili smooth sailing ang tanan, matod pa, no pain, no gain. Pero pinaagi sa grasya sa Ginoo og pagpaningkamot, nalampasan nako ang mga kalisod og hinay-hinay nga nakabot ang akong mga pangandoy. Karon, usa nako ka magtutudlo sa DepEd Tanai City Division. Pasalamat ko sa inspirasyon sa akong teacher nga si Mr. Hirasol. Tungod niya na inspired ko nga mahimong usa ka teacher. Dili sayon ang kinabuhi, apan dili mobiya ang Ginoo kanato. Busa dili kita mawad-an og paglaom kay adunay maayong ugma nga gitak na ang Dios alang sa matag usa.
Boy, kamusta na mo ka dong?
Ingaw na ko nimo sir, naklase na ta.
Nahimo akong inspirasyon sa mga bata karon tungod sa usa ka maestro nako sa una nga maoy nahimo nakong sumbanan. Para ni Sir Arnulfo Girasol, salamat sa imong pagkamaayo. Tinuod, ikaw akong inspirasyon. Hinaot nga nakatanong ko og inspirasyon sa inyong mga kasing-kasing. Tingali ang akong sugilano nagpamatuod nga kun muluyho kita alang sa kaayuhan, ang Dios motabang og mopanalangin kanato.
Certainly, we love and value our dear teachers for their commitment and passion for a better and brighter future of our learners.
TCD Kasikas nurtures awareness, widens its reach to harness. Educative goals so precious, vibrant principles. TCD Kasikas, above. TCD Kasikas, of accuracy at its best, forced to empower made finest, publicize relevant information for all, ensures learning and education is all. TCD Kasikas nurtures awareness, widens its reach to harness. Educative goals so precious, vibrant principles. TCD Kasikas, uphold. TCD Kasikas nurtures awareness, widens its reach to harness. Educative goals so precious, vibrant principles. TCD Kasikas, TCD Kasikas, TCD Kasikas.
let us be introduced to the people behind the success of this episode. And of course, we also value our TCD Kasikas viewers. That's why we are giving out prizes to the TCD employee who can give the correct answer of the day's trivia. Just comment down your answers below. Are you ready? Let's go! And that's a wrap, mga kasikas. Thanks for tuning in. See you on our next episode for the latest news and updates. Don't forget, mga kasikas, to always wear a mask and stay safe. This is Johanna Arashon, your TCD Kasikas reporter. Basta sa Tanai City Division ang pagpanerbisyo, ting patsyada.